Good evening and welcome. On behalf of the COS Board of Trustees, President Stan Carrizosa, the college administration, and the staff of the Tulare-Kings County's Basic Peace Officer Academy, I would like to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the 134th Basic Peace Officer Academy class. My name is Kevin Meisner. I am the Director of Law Enforcement Training for the College of Sequoias, and it is very much my privilege to officiate the graduation this evening. Tonight is the culmination of an intensive 6-month training program that began on August 10th, 2015. The cadets that are here tonight have successfully completed a rigorous training program and have earned the right to stand proudly before you this evening. And I'm certain that the graduating candidates are justifiably proud of their accomplishment, and I'm also certain that they are very pleased that each of you could be here tonight to share this special occasion with them, just as many of you have shared the last 6 months with them. It is now my honor and pleasure to present to you the 134th Tulare-Kings County's Basic Law Enforcement Academy class.
Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please remain standing.
Each year, a number of law enforcement officers in the United States are injured or lost in the performance of their duties. In 2015, that number was 129 officers, 5 in California. To date, in 2016, 3 officers. Let us offer a moment of silence to remember those officers, their agencies, and most importantly, their families. If you'll join me in a moment of silence. Class leader, you may seat the class.
Class, seat.
And you may be seated as well. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Stan Carrizosa, Superintendent President of the College of Sequoias.
Good evening, and thank you for an opportunity to have a couple of minutes on the agenda tonight. It's my privilege on behalf of our Board of Trustees and College of the Sequoias to welcome you all here to this ceremony to honor our cadet graduates. I'd like to make a special acknowledgement of our College of the Sequoias Hanford Center Provost, Dr. Kristen Robinson, who serves as the site administrator for that program and for the campus, and thank her for the hard work and support. I'd especially like to thank our instructors in the program and the work that they do to prepare these cadets and to get them ready for the career that they have ahead of them. I also want to thank our partnership law enforcement agencies. Had the honor this past year to get to work more closely with many of the chiefs and the leaders in our law enforcement community, and felt humbled to be in that level of commitment and talent and excellence. And I can speak firsthand for the passion they have for law enforcement, and especially wanting to provide a top-notch and first-class cadet program for our region. So I'm especially proud to be associated with them and part of that. And finally, I want to congratulate all of our cadets this evening. And to you, parents and family who have supported them, thank you very much. And every year when we do this ceremony and when we take that moment of silence that we just did, it's a sobering reminder of the challenges that law enforcement face every day. And I want you as cadets to know that personally, when we have that moment of silence, I not only think of those officers that we have lost, but I pray especially for safe careers for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, President Carrizosa. On the inside page of your program, you will find the mission of the Academy. The mission of the Police Academy is to develop basic competency and critical knowledge, skills, and abilities necessary for the performing the job as an entry-level peace officer, and to foster the development of professional values, principles, ethics, and a spirit of service for and in partnership with the community. The 45 cadets receiving their certificates this evening have clearly demonstrated their success in achieving that mission. Over the course of 963 hours of training, they've demonstrated a high level of competency, knowledge, skills, professional values, principles, and ethics, and they are now prepared to serve our communities as law enforcement officers. Over these past 6 months, they've been challenged physically, mentally, and academically. And probably nobody knows that more than those of you who have walked this path with them over this last 6 months. And we know that the cadets sitting here tonight have met those challenges and have overcome those challenges and are now ready for their next step in their law enforcement career. Also, you may have noticed that a number of the cadets are wearing uniforms of a different color than the khaki ones that you've seen over these last 6 months. They means that they have been hired by an agency. They are now affiliated with an agency, and many of them will be receiving their first badge tonight as part of our ceremony. Those graduates wearing the tan uniforms have completed their training and will now be applying for law enforcement positions. It is now my privilege to introduce to you a number of dignitaries who are part of our ceremony tonight. Our Academy is overseen by a Law Enforcement Advisory Committee whose membership consists of police chiefs, sheriffs, district attorneys, and command staff from agencies throughout Kings and Tulare counties, as well as senior managers of the College of the Sequoias. These individuals and the agencies that they oversee are extremely important to the success of this program. And quite frankly, it would be very difficult for us to accomplish our mission without that strong support. I appreciate them taking their time tonight to be here in support of these graduates and you as their families. For those members that are here tonight, I'd like to personally thank you. I'll ask each of these folks to stand as they're introduced, and I will ask you as the audience to please hold your applause until all are introduced. Chief Darrell Smith, Lemoore Police Department. Chief Smith also serves as the chairman of the Law Enforcement Advisory Committee and is our lead PT instructor for the intensive class. Mr. Stan Carrizosa, Superintendent President of the College of Sequoias. Mr. Keith Fagundes, District Attorney for the County of Kings, who will also be our keynote speaker this evening. Mr. Jeff Dunn, Senior Law Enforcement Consultant with the California Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training. Chief Eric Crodel, Porterville Police Department. Chief Parker Sever with the Hanford Police Department. Chief Wes Hensley with the Tulare Police Department. Chief Ruben Shornacy with the Corcoran Police Department. Sheriff Dave Robinson, Kings County Sheriff's Department. Under Sheriff Steve Wilkins, representing Sheriff Margaret Mims, Fresno County Sheriff's Department. Chief Cliff Bush with the Exeter Police Department. Chief Bob Masterson, College of the Sequoias District Police Department. Chief Jack Carter, Department of State Hospitals, Coalinga. Sheriff Vern Warnke, Merced County Sheriff's Department. Chief John Peters, Grover City Police Department. Captain Lydia Carrasco, representing Chief Dyer, Fresno Police Department. Chief Chris Hughes with the Lindsay Department of Public Safety. Commander Jerry Nicholson, representing Chief Mark DeRosia from the Delano Police Department. Sergeant Ron Epp with the Visalia Police Department, who will be presenting the James Raposo Memorial Scholarship. All right, I hope I got you all. If I didn't, I apologize. Thank you, thank you. As to introductions to our Academy staff, the folks that are involved in our program and work diligently to help prepare these students for graduation and for the careers that follow, I'd like to introduce Mr. Duke Heddick, who served as the Academy Coordinator for this class. He will introduce the Academy staff.
Good evening. The Academy courses have a large and outstanding instructional staff, the names of which are located on the last page of your program. Several of them, primarily the team leaders, are with us tonight. It is my pleasure to introduce those team leaders, the recruit training officers, and the cadets who served as class leaders during the 134th basic course. Myself, I do the firearms report writing and the scenario training. Physical training, Chief Darrell Smith. Weaponless defense, Sergeant John Pree, Visalia Police Department. Our recruit training officers, these gentlemen over here. Couldn't do this without them. We have Corporal Chad Allen, Hanford Police Department. Sergeant Steve Chee, Corcoran Police Department. Senior Deputy Jeremiah Gilson, Kings County Sheriff's Department. Officer Tim Kaiser, Lemoore PD. Sergeant Alan Knight, Tulare County Sheriff's Department. Officer Daniel McAllister, Corcoran Police Department. Officer Thomas Olson, Deputy Thomas Olson, Kings County Sheriff's Department. Officer Stephanie Storm, Avenel PD. Officer Dustin Thompson, Visalia Police Department. Officer Eric Wilson, Tulare Police Department. And Officer Craig Yancey, Tulare Police Department. Our class leaders, we had 4, and this is a thankless job. Just ask them. Darian Santella, Dakota Swafford, Luis Ortiz, and Patrick McDonald. Good job all.
Thank you, Mr. Heddick. At this time, it's my honor to introduce tonight's keynote speaker, Mr. Keith Fagundes. Just a little background on our district attorney in Kings County. Keith is a lifelong resident of the County of Kings. He's a graduate of Fresno Pacific University and of the San Joaquin College of Law. In 1999, he began his career as a prosecutor with the Tulare County District Attorney's Office, and he remained there for about 5 years, where he was involved in a full range of prosecutions from misdemeanors to felonies, including homicides, death penalty cases, serious and violent gang crimes, and all other types of crimes. In 2004, he moved to the Kings County District Attorney's Office as he continued his career as a prosecutor. At that position over those years, again, he prosecuted a full range of crimes. He was appointed as the acting chief trial deputy, supervised a team of 16 trial lawyers, as well as day-to-day operations of the trials that were managed by the office. He also was involved with special grand jury proceedings, worked as an advisor to the seated grand jury on many occasions. Mr. Fagundes went on to private practice for a bit, and then in January of 2015, he took the seat as the Kings County elected district attorney, which has been his position now for the last year. I got to know Keith a bit as an instructor in our program. I first met Keith when he was interested in teaching and becoming a part as an adjunct member of our program, and was involved in teaching various courses involving advanced officer courses and such, and I was always impressed by his diligence and his ability to communicate with advanced officers in some areas that were a little difficult to teach. So it's been a privilege to know him and to have him be part of our program tonight. I'd like to just finish by saying that, again, a lifelong family, Kings County family, and he's very active with the Mary Immaculate Queen School as a board member and various committees involving there in St. Peter's Catholic Church. And he has his wife Renee and 2 children, Emily 12 and Gracie 8. Would you please welcome Keith L. Fagundes to the podium.
Thank you. Kevin, thank you for those kind words. For a moment, Chief Smith leaned over to me and said, "Is he talking about you?" And I had to wonder myself. Those were kind words, but tonight isn't about me. Tonight is about the graduates of the 134th Tulare Kings Police Academy. It's a remarkable achievement because their achievement tonight is also your achievement tonight. The communities in which these folks will go into are a dangerous world these days. And although most of you folks don't see it, your glimpse into what peace officers live these days is on television and the news, which is only a very minor part of what actually occurs in the lives of peace officers. But as families and friends of these cadets, as they move forward as police officers, you will slowly see that you too are brought into the peace officer family. It's a strange thing to try to explain, but the peace officer family is like nothing seen ever before. It is akin to being a Marine, a soldier, a sailor, in any other branch of service. It is akin to having that innermost being that you live by daily and would sacrifice daily for the person standing next to you because of a clear set of ideals. A clear set of ideals about upholding the law, upholding the Constitution, fairness and justice and peace. And it is when you're willing to sacrifice yourself to give others those ideals, you know that if you have really achieved the pinnacle of success in one's life. I work daily with a group of police officers. I've had the privilege of working with many police officers in Tulare County as well as Kings County now over the last nearly 2 decades. I can tell you that in our counties, it is they are unmatched by anyone in the state. I've had the privilege now for the last year of having to attend conferences outside the community and networking with other counties. And when I hear the issues that other counties have as elected DAs with their chiefs and with their officers and the police academies and their boards of supervisors and all the issues that we at the forefront of public safety have to deal with, I am blessed as an elected official in Kings County to work with a group of leaders that we have here. And by virtue of that, you too are blessed. Because I cannot describe the leadership we have in Kings County and the Tulare County officers and the leadership they have provided to these cadets make you safer daily. They allow you to go to the grocery store and not think twice about your safety. They allow you to go to the community park and not think twice about your safety. They allow you to go to the movies at night and not think twice about your safety. And yes, when something does happen, they are the first people you call. They are the only group of people who will run to gunfire and not away from it. They are the only group of people who will put their lives before anyone else's. For that, they are to be commended. These cadets are embarking on a journey, and they should be congratulated. They have achieved in 6 months what very few people do achieve in their lifetimes. And they have now promised, and they will be dedicating themselves to their communities, our community, in such a way that, unfortunately, will sometimes feel thankless. It will be a thankless job up until the moment that you recall the honor, the dignity, and the respect that you bring to this profession as police officers. You should remember, cadets, as you move forward in your careers, that we are a service-oriented profession. Public safety is one of those services that you just don't get to redo. There are a lot of service-oriented professions that you can redo things when you make a mistake. But in law enforcement, when you make a mistake, oftentimes people die. Oftentimes your mistakes will not bring people's loved ones back. It is an awesome burden. And if that causes you to pause and shudder and think twice about what you're getting into, it should, because it is that serious. But don't worry, because you folks have the privilege of having the law enforcement leaders that we have in our 2 counties to look to. They've given you guidance the last 6 months. They have shown you what it is to be successful. They have shown you what you need to do and how you need to act in order to have an impact on our communities. You should know that the responsibility to protect and to serve is never something that should be taken on with pure emotion. You have to add skill to that emotion. You should feel and empathize with others, certainly, but you should be in control of that in such a way that you get yourself home every night, because you too have loved ones who need you home. You should know that what you will be doing here is a lifelong journey that has lifelong consequences. You should know that you should never allow a victim to be victimized a second time by faulty process of law enforcement. We're blessed in Kings County, but like I said, when I travel around the state, not a lot of communities are. But you folks are now in a position that you can make a difference, and you should make a difference. I should also tell you that you should not become complacent in your job. Those who become complacent put yourselves and others at risk, and you do a disservice to the community. We are fortunate here in Kings and Tulare and our local communities. You should seek out to emulate the leaders that we have, and you should seek out to motivate those around you to emulate the leaders that we have. You should motivate co-workers to be mentors, and you should remember this: even teachers have had teachers. Law enforcement is a perishable skill, and it must be cultivated frequently. You should stay sharp by doing crisis rehearsal. You should also always be vigilant, even in your off hours. As we all know, there is no time off for a peace officer. A peace officer is on duty 7 days a week, every hour of the day. You are the next generation of urban warriors. You will be carrying the torch that has been passed on to you by your leaders and your mentors. Many of your instructors have been retired police officers. You should take that, respect that, and honor that. They have survived a career that is deadly to some, and they are able to pass that knowledge and that skill on to you. You should not let those folks down who have sacrificed the last 6 months to give you the skill, determination, and the education you will need to be successful. You must always be inquisitive and suspicious and thorough, and if you're not, then you're really not fit for duty, to be honest with you. Your duty is to be the first line of defense for our communities, and you should take that duty seriously. It is a fine line to walk oftentimes, because it seems that the whole world is against you at times. I've personally been involved with officers who have encountered a hostile situation with 50 other people being hostile, and there's 1 or 2 officers who arrived to keep the peace. And they did not fear that situation. They engaged the situation, and they were successful. You should seek to emulate that as well. And in our day and age, while the public might take it personal when you have to take a stand and you have to choose between doing what's right and doing what's easy, you should always choose the path of doing what's right. Police officers always follow a path of truth, and you investigate and follow the trail of evidence to the truth. You are also charged with helping those that need help and arresting those that prey on society. And always, always remember this: right is right, even if no one else is doing it. And wrong is wrong, even if everyone else is doing it. Some leading authorities on survival skills often ask the question of new officers, have you ever been to a circus? And when asked why, these survivalists and these authorities on survival explain that at a circus, the lion tamer is in the ring before the lions enter. And there's a reason for that. Because when the lion tamer enters that ring, he established dominance over those lions. Because if he didn't, the show would be completely different. And the lion tamer would have one show. As law enforcement officers, you oftentimes are called upon to enter a home. And I often explain to officers that a domestic violence call is going to be one of the most dangerous you encounter. Because you'll often arrive alone. You'll often be entering a strange location without backup. And it is unlike even a dangerous situation where you have a tactical team that enters a home for narcotics or a homicide search warrant, whatever it may be. They are prepared for bad stuff. But a domestic violence call with a single officer is at a disadvantage. You don't know what lies behind that door. You should be ever vigilant. When you enter those homes, you are entering the safe haven of somebody else. And in the animal kingdom, we are the only animal that actually enters others' homes that they have created as their safe haven. In no other situation do you see wild animals enter somebody else's den. But you folks, as peace officers, will have to do that on a regular basis. So please, be ever vigilant. Protect yourselves so that you too can make it home to your families. You should take time to remember your family on a daily basis. They were here before you attended the academy. They were your family now, and they will continue to be your family. They were at your side as you trained in the last 6 months. They too made sacrifices for you to achieve this goal. So, as long as you are in a situation that you wear the badge and you have a gun, you should remember that this is an awesome and great profession. But remember that while you are out there on the streets, your family is home worrying and concerned about you. You should relax their worries and assure them on a daily basis of your professionalism by your proper actions and your daily actions. To do this, you should never let the job consume you, and you should find time for them as often as you can. After all, they too live in the community which you are now charging to protect. But in that note, you should leave your family concerns at home when you are responding to a call. Your partner next to you, your family at work also needs you to be ever vigilant and attentive to their needs. Do not let endless distractions put you or others in harm's way. Every shift is new, and you should be prepared for each shift by making sure that all your equipment is properly in order and that you are thinking properly in order to make yourself and your partner go home safe after every shift. And that should be rule number 1. I should tell you that you are the protectors of our society, and as such, You should wear that badge of honor and badge of courage. It is the honor, courage, and prestige that you bring to this profession that will make a difference in all of your respective communities. Times have changed, and they will continue to change. The world is a different place than it was just a year and a half ago. And for that, you are blazing new territories. I have to say that in my years as a prosecutor, I tell young prosecutors that I learned to be a prosecutor from officers. I didn't know what drugs were. I never saw drugs. I never saw illegal weapons. I never saw the types of crimes that I prosecuted, but I had great officers to teach me the way. And in turn, I tried to share upon them my experiences in the courtroom. And between the two, we learned that the great job on the streets makes a great job in the courtroom. And when you see a case from start to finish, and by finish I don't mean when you sign that report, I mean when that jury says guilty and that judge says sentenced, you will then take pride in the work you do and see the ever importance that every detail counts and everything you do matters. With that in mind, I would like you as a community to welcome our new officers to the law enforcement family and to congratulate them on a job well done and assist them in becoming officers that we want as our protectors and as our future leaders. I want to thank you for your patience, your time, and for listening. And to you graduates, I wish you the best of luck in your careers. I hope you have a huge impact upon your communities. And with that, I would ask that God blesses you, your families, our communities, and our counties from now and forever.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fagundes. If you will refer to the inside cover of your graduation program, you will see the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. In the Academy, we emphasize these principles set forth in the Code of Ethics, and in fact, we place such great value on them that each cadet is required to memorize this code. It is so important today that peace officers serving this country possess the attributes of character and maturity and integrity and leadership that's described in this code. In fact, law enforcement would fail in its mission if these values were not in place, utilized and passed on to all new members. Sergeant Alan Knight will now lead the 134th Basic Class in reciting the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. A copy of the Code of Ethics is again printed on the inside of the front cover of the graduation program if you would like to follow along.
In 1956, San Diego Police Lieutenant wrote the first Code of Ethics. This code identifies values and ideals for officers' conduct both on and off duty. In 1959, the code was adopted by the Commission for Peace Officers Standard and Training, and by 1962, this became the standard of conduct for officers throughout the state. In the years that followed, this code also became the standard for law enforcement ethics throughout the entire nation. California state law requires California peace officers affirm their commitment to live by this code of ethics. Our way of doing that here today is for this class to recite the code of ethics and publicly affirm their commitment to this code with all of us here in attendance as witnesses.
Pledge. Attention.
And now, the 134th Basic Police Academy will recite the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. Ready. Begin.
As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve mankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all men to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed in both my personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the laws of the land and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature, or that is confided to me in my official capacity, will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of my duty. I will never act officiously or ill feelings, prejudices, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions. With no compromise for crime, and with relentless prosecution of criminals, I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of the police service. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement.
Now, Class 134, will you raise your right hand? Do you affirm before these witnesses to live by each and every provision of this code of ethics?
Sir, yes, sir!
Class leaders, seat your class.
Class, seats.
Thank you, Sergeant Knight. We are now going to present awards to those graduates who have achieved the highest scores in the following areas. Arrest and control will be presented by Sergeant John Preed. Firearms, report writing, and outstanding scenario performance will be presented by Mr. Duke Heddick. Our physical training award will be presented by Chief Darrell Smith. The James Raposo Memorial Scholarship Award will be presented by Sergeant Ron Epp of the Visalia Police Department. And our Leadership Award will be presented by Chief Darrell Smith. Each presenter will now come forward without any further introduction, and we'll begin with Sergeant John Preed.
Good evening. It's an honor to present this award this evening. Throughout the course of the Academy, cadets, just remember while this is the end of your Academy experience, it's only the beginning of your training. Remember your arrest control, defensive tactics. These are all perishable skills and continue them throughout your career. Throughout the Academy, the cadets participated in over 90 hours of training in unarmed defense, arrest control, person search and handcuffing techniques, weapon retention, baton techniques, prisoner transport procedures, and ground fighting techniques. The winner of this award has demonstrated the highest level of skills in all of these areas, and this was a unanimous decision with my team based upon not only his performance but his willingness to help others. So the winner for the 134th Basic Class is Cadet Luis A. Ortiz.
I've been associated with this academy for a lot of years. This class, for reasons that they know, many of you out there know, is special to me. We have developed a bond that I probably won't have with another class. They are an outstanding group. Firearms. The 134th Basic Class completed over 104 hours of firearms training, utilizing both shotgun sidearm and tactical rifle. These cadets shot approximately 1,750 rounds during diverse weather and lighting conditions. The award goes to that cadet who compiles the highest percentage of accuracy on any given day. They shoot one or more different courses of fire at least once. They're given credit for their highest score in each. The winner of the 134th class compiled an accuracy rate of 100%. Will Cadet Eric E. Nunez please come forward? Report writing. They love it. The ability to write clear, concise, and correct reports is crucial for an officer's success in the field and also to the effectiveness of law enforcement in general. The quality of police reports is so important that the Academy gives a special award in that skill area. Cadets in this class completed 5 reports for practice, or no grade, and 27 reports for grades. Total included 2 traffic collision reports and 1 DUI report. Report writing award is given to the graduating cadet in each academy class who achieves the highest grade point average in all of the graded reports. In this basic class, the cadet winning this award has achieved outstanding report writing average of 98.6. Will Cadet Christopher B. Dempsey please come forward? Scenarios. There are 14 tested learning domains. Cadets are tested on occurrences such as building searches where there are possible suspects hiding, respond to armed robberies where there are suspects and citizens to deal with simultaneously, assault with deadly weapon calls where they must render aid to a victim or victims, investigating homicides. They're exposed to ambush calls and nighttime traffic stops. The cadets are put into situations where they must use their communication skills to talk a possible suicidal subject into accepting help. All of this while showing a very high degree of officer safety. These scenarios are vital to the cadets' training, and they are a post-required testing procedure. We had 2 cadets finish with the top overall scenario score of 100%. Will Cadets Clemente Castillo and Calsoy Seychell please come forward?
Good evening and welcome to the city of Lemoore. I'm going to shake it up a little bit. I'm going to call my fellow colleagues up here, Corporal McAllister and former Chief, retired Chief Jack Amoroso. Could you please come up here and help me present this award? JP Henderson, I haven't seen you in the house tonight, but if you're here, if you could also come up. A little bit about these guys. They dedicate their time and commitment to assist in training the cadets. And by the way, don't they look great? Give them a round of applause. You guys can smile, by the way. It's okay. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the journey that we went throughout the academy, and I'm going to speak directly to them because I had the experience to spend a lot of time with them. Probably spent more time than any of the other staff in the academy. And I couldn't really tell if they liked me or not because they made all these strange faces during the workouts. And they had to use the restroom an awful lot. So every time one would be missing, I'd go ask a cadet, hey, where's so-and-so? They're in the restroom. And I realized they were in the restroom throwing up, so I know that my program was very effective. It was working. Satchow, where are you at? I'm gonna miss the Sour Patch face that you made at me every time I made you do all those burpees. I appreciated that. But in reality, we had a motto. Really, it was more my motto, and they bought in later on when they realized that it was effective. We basically said near death is okay because death is not okay, right? But you go to the limit where you're almost right there at near death when there's no more to give. And I can honestly say that this class gave 100%. One cadet in particular improved his work sample battery test score by 190 points. That's a tremendous improvement. And that cadet is Cadet Casillas. Could you stand up, Cadet Casillas? I'd really like to recognize that accomplishment. Another cadet that I must mention, we have a tradition in the academy. The very end of the academy, I choose 2 cadets to actually prepare the workout, and I tell them that I don't want to be disappointed. I want them to wear the cadets out because, see, I have something in mind at the end of the class, and I'm hoping they're really wore out so I can win the competition. And they did a great job, by the way. They worked them out very hard. So at the end, we have a muscle-up competition. For those of you who don't know what a muscle-up is, picture a pull-up, not with your chin above the bar, but with your waist above the bar and locking your hands out. So we had this competition, and this cadet had the nerve to beat me. and he beat me handily. I had my best day, 27 muscle-ups. And this cadet did 30 just to rub it in. And I think if we had had more time, he could have done more. And then I noticed there was a theme throughout this competition that the class was really rooting for the cadet, right? So I take that back. There was one old guy rooting for me, and that's the other old guy on the. Yeah, so he was rooting for the other old guy, and I appreciate that, Jack. And by the way, what passion, right? Retired chief. I coaxed him out of his 5th retirement to come back and teach PT, and I truly appreciate that. And he's a reserve officer for Avenel, where he just retired as a chief. That is true passion for the profession. That's loving what you do. So it came down to just a few points that separated the cadet who won this award. This cadet performed the highest in one of the 3 physical fitness assessment tests that are mandated by post, and then the overall highest score in the work sample battery test, which is the final test in the academy. Cadet James Brown scored 1,005 points out of a possible 1,100 points. And I'm pleased to announce the winner, Class 134, Cadet James Brown, Merced County Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm here tonight representing the Visalia Police Department Special Weapons and Tactics team, and have been given the honor to present the James Raposo Memorial Scholarship for Class 134. Our community lost a very valuable officer, husband, and father when James Raposo's life was taken from us. January 9, 1998, while we were serving a high-risk search warrant in the city of Visalia. James was a Hanford native, graduating from Hanford High, and later graduating from California State University, Fresno, and the Tulare Kings County Police Academy. James began his law enforcement career with the Hanford Police Department, and later worked for Kings County Sheriff's Department and the California Department of Justice Bureau of Narcotics Enforcement. James came to work for the Visalia Police Department, where he excelled in several areas, including the SWAT team. James was the kind of guy that always had a smile on his face and a helping hand to lend others. After James's death, a memorial fund was established, not only to help keep his memory alive, but to help those individuals who were seeking a career in law enforcement. We are looking for and encouraging those individuals that represent the character and heart that James brought to this profession. Tonight's recipient ranked in the top 5 academically and served as an assistant squad leader, class leader, and class advisor. His peers described him as dedicated, hardworking, and a good leader, all characteristics that we used to describe James. It is my honor to introduce Class 134 James Raposo Memorial Scholarship Award to Cadet Luis Ortiz.
It's now my honor to present the Leadership Award for Class 134. As you might realize, leadership is a crucial skill in law enforcement. Even the most junior officer in any agency has the potential for leadership. In each academy class, the Leadership Award is given to that cadet who has demonstrated the highest level of leadership skills as a peace officer candidate and has devoted the highest level of effort toward benefiting the other members of the class. The recipient of this award is selected by the Academy staff with input from the class by way of a secret ballot. and I understand it was very close with this class. This is a noteworthy award which says such a great deal about the candidate who wins it. I'm pleased to present Cadet Malcolm Walls the Leadership Award. And I believe I failed to mention the cadet that won the Must Love competition is none other than Corey Rinaldi. So please give him a round of applause. Thanks for rooting for me, Jack.
And I have the pleasure to award the Overall Achievement Award. The Overall Achievement Award is given to the cadet in each academy class who earns the highest combined grade point average in the following areas over the 3 modules. They cover firearms, written examinations, report writing, and scenario testing. The winner of the Overall Achievement Award for the 134th Basic class compiled an overall grade point average of 96%, which is highly commendable for the amount of work that is done during those 3 modules. Will Cadet Luis Ortiz please come forward? Cadet Ortiz will now speak on behalf of the 134th Basic class.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Class 134, I would like to thank all of you for being here tonight and for the support that you have given us these last 6 months. As a class, we've come a long way. We've been through a lot together. Countless hours of studying and training, thousands of burpees and push-ups, being tased and pepper sprayed, entire days of arrest and patrol. There are many lessons that we will take from this academy experience. One of the things that we've been told many times throughout the academy is that as peace officers, we have to be conscious of all of our choices in and out of the uniform. Everything we do matters. How we do what we do matters. How we serve our communities, how we help others, how we treat people. It determines how we're thought of, and ultimately it determines how we're going to be remembered when we're gone. During class, we talk about this often, and we'd also talk about peace officers who would make unethical choices that would impact us negatively. And whenever Lieutenant Chambers was there, he would always say that these officers have tarnished his badge. And that's why you have to keep going home and polishing it again. So Lieutenant Chambers, I want you to know, and everyone else here, that Class 134 will help you polish our badge by going out there and treating everyone with courtesy and respect. By doing the right thing, regardless of how difficult or inconvenient it may be, or whether or not anyone's watching. This is a promise that Class 134 is going to make to everyone here, to you, Lieutenant Chambers, to our family, to our loved ones, to our department, to our law enforcement family out there, and to the public, who we have chosen to dedicate our lives to serve. Thank you.
Thank you to our award presenters. Thank you, Cadet Ortiz, and thank you for the hard work for all of you in the class and for those who did achieve the highest levels and receive the awards this evening. We have now come to a very special time in our ceremony. Each time we set up a graduation, we leave space in the agenda for any department wishing to publicly present badges and/or swear in their new officers. I will tell you that receiving your first shield or star is a very exciting and unforgettable event for every officer and for their families. And tonight, for 23 of our graduates, this is your moment. I would like to invite family members to move forward for photographs. This is a great opportunity. They will be out in the front. We do have family members that are planning to come up and be part of the pinning. So you're also, please move to an area where you're able to move forward when it's your turn. We will begin tonight with Chief Darrell Smith of the Lemoore Police Department, who will come forward to present a badge to one member of the class.
I'd like to call Steve and Tommy up to the stage, please.
Next, I'd like to invite Chief Wes Hensley of the Tulare Police Department to come forward and present one badge to a member of our class.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. I'd like to call Ian up next to me here. I'd also like to offer my congratulations to Class 134 on a job well done. My comments will be very brief. At the Tulare Police Department, we always allow a loved one to pin this first badge because it's such a memorable occasion. There's a couple of firsts here on this. This is my first hire as an acting chief about 7 months ago, and this will be my first badge pinning as the chief. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and step down.
Next, Chief Ruben Shaughnessy of the Corcoran Police Department will pin one member of the class.
Good evening. Eric, can you come forward, please? Eric Newt has asked that I pin his badge tonight, and it's my pleasure to do that.
Next, Captain Lydia Carrasco of the Fresno Police Department, who will be presenting badges to 5 members of the class.
I'd like to offer my congratulations to Class of 134 for your hard work. And if I could have the Fresno Police recruits please step forward. And I'd also like to invite family to come up and take pictures and ping their loved one.
Next, Chief Eric Crodel of the Porterville Police Department will be pinning 2 members of the class.
Good evening, Class 134. Congratulations. Porterville Police Department has the privilege of presenting 2 badges tonight to Officer Amalia Johnson and Officer Armando Perez. Mr. Jeremiah Johnson.
Next, Under Sheriff Steve Wilkins with the Fresno County Sheriff's Department will pin 1 member.
Good evening. It's my honor to be here tonight to present a badge to our newest deputy sheriff and welcome him into the family of the Fresno County Sheriff's Office. So, Cal Kendrick, you're already here. Come on. Why don't you step out to the middle of the stage? Can I have Tina come down and the rest of the family come on down as close as you want to get pictures. After he gets this badge, we're going to have a more formal swearing-in ceremony later, but I am going to swear him in tonight because I need him to go to work.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. To the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of California. That I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully. Discharge the duties of my position. For the Fresno County Sheriff's Office. Upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Next, Chief Cliff Bush from the Exeter Police Department will pin 1 member of the class.
Tonight I have the honor of presenting the badge to Claudia Molina, and I also have the honor of changing her name from Cadet Molina to Officer Molina. I think she's going to be pinned tonight by her mother. Terry, come on.
Next, Chief Chris Hughes of the Lindsay Department of Public Safety will come forward to present a badge to 1 member.
Good evening. Congratulations, Class 134. Great job. Have his father come up, Mr. Chris Dempsey. It's my honor to present Officer Chris Dempsey.
Next, I'd like to invite Sheriff Vern Warnke of the Merced County Sheriff's Department to come forward, who will present badges to 5 members of the class.
As is Fresno County, we also have jobs for these men to take care of immediately. So we are going to swear them in their official oath of office. But one little thing about the star that we wear. People ask why the deputy sheriff wears the star. I tell them because the star is in heaven, and heaven is home to God, and God truly loves a deputy sheriff.
Congratulations, gentlemen. You're now part of our family. Stand by. Family members that wish to come up and assist in pinning their loved one, I've been asked to stand with you on 3 hours deputies. Don't be bashful, folks.
Next, I'd like to invite Commander Jerry Nicholson of the Delano Police Department, who will present a badge to 1 member of the class.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Darian Santella, come on down, please. He has chosen his mother to have and on his badge, and would like to invite her up now.
Okay, just a couple more to go. Next, Chief Jack Carter from the Kalinga State Hospital will come forward to present badges to 2 members of the class.
Good evening. Congratulations, class. Could I have Investigator Correa and Investigator Wiswell step up, please?
And to conclude this part of our ceremony, Chief John Peters of the Grover Beach Police Department will present badges to 2 members of our department.
Good evening. Can I have Officers David Arias and Officer Matthew Montero please come forward? And your families are welcome to come on up as well. Commander Tim Miller will be presenting the badge of each of the officers to their moms for pinning. I would like to say congratulations to these 2 officers who are going to be joining our police department in Grover Beach, as well as the recruits of Class 134. Congratulations and Godspeed in your career. And officers, we'll see you first thing Monday morning, so enjoy probably the last weekend off you're going to have. Woo!
All right, congratulations to the class members receiving their badges tonight. At this time, we have a special presentation. Would Cadets Nguyen and Mogg please come forward for a special presentation to the Academy? Mr. Heddick, if you would join me, please.
Sir, on behalf of Class 134, I would like to dedicate this plaque to the Academy. This plaque is dedicated to Lieutenant Brantley. Class 134 is Lieutenant Brantley's 100th Academy and final Academy. Sir, we hope you have a great retirement. This plaque is also dedicated to Mr. Heddick. Mr. Heddick, thank you for seeing us through to the end.
Thank you very much, class. Thank you. The time has now come to present certificates of completion to the graduating candidates. This time I would like to ask Chief Smith and President Carrizosa to please come forward to assist with the issuing of our certificates. This is definitely a time in which to come forward for photographs. They will be called in the order of the program, with the exception of Cadet Patrick McDonald, who is serving as our class leader tonight. So as we begin, Cadet Patrick McDonald. The class leader will now prepare the class to receive certificates.
Row one, attention. Right, face.
David Anthony Arias. Jose Baca. Slater L. Bach. Ian Alexander Batten. Jeff E. Bowen. James H. Brown VI. Jose Calderon. David A. Cano. Jaime Casillas. Clemente D. Castillo. Chadwick Chang. Robert Correa. Brian Ewell Creed. Robert C. Curran III. Christopher B. Dempsey. Dennis J. Gomez.
First row, left, face. Seats. Second row, attention. Right, face.
Giovanni Gutierrez. Melanie K. Hopper. Tanner Jakes. Amalia Johnson. Kyle F. Kendrick. Wayne D. Mogg. Stephen Charles Moore. Claudia Diamante Molina. Matthew S. Montero. David Nguyen. Thomas A. Nolan. Eric E. Nunes. Luis A. Ortiz. Brandon M. Owensby.
Second row, left, face. Seats. Third row, attention. Right, face.
Cody Wayne Parks. Armando Perez. Alec P. Rail. Corey R. Rinaldi. Troy D. Rodriguez. Kausoy Seichao. Joshua S. Sanchez. Darian Santella. Dakota W. Swafford. Kenneth C. Toasty. Jose Philippin. Malcolm J. Walls. Aaron S. Wiswell. Billy Jung.
Third row, left, face. Seats.
Thank you, President Carrizosa, Chief Smith, Mr. Hedrick. At this time, I would like to invite Chief Darrell Smith to the podium for a special presentation.
I promise this is the last time you'll see me up here tonight. So I thought it would be fitting that the Tulare Kings Law Enforcement Advisory Committee prepare a special presentation tonight. In light of this gentleman graduating from the COS Police Academy in 1979, Class 34, 100 classes later, retiring effective January 2016. Tell you a little bit more about him, right? And he made this very apparent the other night when he said he's not over 100 years old. They had sometimes 3 academies each year. So, a little bit more history on this gentleman, because that's what good cops do. They call more experience, which means older cops than I am, to find out exactly when he started at the academy. So, the best of my knowledge, with a little help from Chief Bush, Class 59, I believe, Lieutenant Brantley, began teaching in the academy some form or shape, and I may be off, but the intent is good, in the physical conditioning program. One thing I can say for sure is that he was my PT instructor in Class 70, and I have to tell you that during Class 70, he was the one instructor that I remember vividly because of his leadership that he demonstrated on a daily basis. To give you an idea of what type of leader he was, he showed up at 5 o'clock in the morning when our class started at 5:45 to open the gym for a few of us knuckleheads who didn't think we were getting enough training during the academy to lift weights. That's the type of guy he was, led by example. He taught us that taking care of our bodies would really help our minds, and it would lead us to success in our profession. And Lieutenant Brantley, I can tell you that I was listening during that class. You probably didn't realize it at the time, but I was listening. He's one of the reasons why I decided to become a PT instructor at the age of 51 years old. He demonstrated that during the academy, you take care of your bodies, leads to a successful mind, and you continue that because it's called fitness for life, not fitness for 6 months. And hopefully the things that I learned from this man, I was able to teach you, Class 134, and you can continue that tradition. So I'd like to call my fellow colleagues up here, the Tulare Kings Police Academy Advisory Board. We have a shadow box that we'd like to present to Lieutenant Bob Brantley. Come on up, Bob.
So real quickly, it's presented to Lieutenant Robert Brantley, Tulare Kings Police Academy, Class 34 to Class 134, in recognition of your dedicated service and commitment to our law enforcement personnel training standards in Kings and Tulare counties. Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you to the board and congratulations, Lieutenant Brantley. To the class, you have chosen an honorable career, one that is filled with tradition and great personal reward. But it also requires discipline and sacrifice. Best wishes, truly best wishes on your future law enforcement careers. To the families, 6 months ago you gave us your loved ones for training. They were gone long hours. When they returned home, they worked well into the night to make their preparations for their daily work that needed to be done. Today, we officially return them to you. We hope more disciplined, we hope more confident, and definitely with slimmer waistlines. Thank you, Chief Smith and staff. To you, I offer our thanks for your support to these trainees, because truly they could not have done it without support at home. And we wish them and you the very best in their future law enforcement careers. It's now time for us to conclude our ceremony. Mr. Heddick will now come forward and dismiss the 134th class for the final time. And when the class is dismissed, they'll march back down the aisles. They will be waiting for you outside at the conclusion of the ceremony. I do want to thank South Valley Community Church for the use of this beautiful facility and their assistance in making all of this come together tonight. I would also like to thank the Lemoore Police Department for the assistance of their explorers and their VIPs to help keep things organized. And on behalf of the District Administration and the Tulare-Kings County's Law Enforcement Advisory Committee, I want to thank all of our dignitaries here tonight, all of our Academy staff that's here tonight, and offer a special thank you to each of you for being here tonight. Good evening, good luck to the class, best wishes. Mr. Heddick will now dismiss the class.
Class 134, stand check.